Okay, here's my engine in a safe new location, otherwise known as home. And it's time to finish getting this stuff off so we can see what's going on under there. I was supposed to spend this evening repacking up my tools for my new job. It's fleet work, it's steady. Even during the winter when all the other shops get slow, I still make plenty of money. I'm happy about that. Oh, and I've talked to most of the guys there, and they're really nice. One guy didn't seem to be too chatty. That's because he was too busy working. Guys like that can't bother you, can they? Car problems got your head in the sand? Be triumphant. You have a champion to help you. Huzzah! Welcome to the D.E. Nichols channel. Autobottom.com. Okay, so I've got a couple of top bolts off up here. Hydraulic tensioners started, but it looks to me like this bolt's kind of set in almost like an interference because it's too close to this motor mount. So this motor mount's got to go first. That's one good thing about this job. I've had a new one of these for, I don't know, like a year. And I know it was just a little loose, but it wasn't bad. But a new one's going in. A trick for you. Take your 19 impact. It fits. For whatever reason, my 19 3/8 doesn't. My impact inch 19 does. So you can raise up the engine a bit before you loosen that motor mount too much. The reason why I like to do this versus what came with that jack is because, I mean, look at all that extension. You're not fighting. When you're using a jack deep down, it wants to hit everything. So you end up turning a little, taking it out, turn a little. No, this is much easier. So if you come up here with me, I've got started on this motor mount and pulled the 10mm grounding wire, 14mm connector to the engine. I believe there's going to be another 14 underneath. Should be right past these AC lines, if I can reach down there and feel that the other one, wow, I can't get my hand under there any which way with this AC. I just knocked something down. I hate that. Okay, well anyway, here's 17, and that's gonna finish loosening this off, and I can jack the engine up out of the way to get a little more space underneath this and find out what it is for you. Sometimes you just got to make things easier for yourself. I got a new one of these, and I've got pictures of every leak from last summer that I had for every O-ring that needs to be replaced for my AC system. Got a new one of these because, you know, I've lost coolant a few times, or R134A, and I want to clean everything out and have a new guy in. Rule of thumb is if you get in there a few times, replace one of these, so I decided to go with that. Placed anyway before the car's going again. And my only concern is getting more moisture in the system, which is happening anyway because it's leaking. But this is also in the way, so this is going to go too. Little 10mm on there. And it just kind of holds on by this tab on the back side. Comes up and away, and it'll make a little mess, not a big mess. If that might stay there for a while. I might get annoyed and make a mess. I don't know. It's not a lot of fluid in there, but it dries fast because it's alcohol. But yeah, look at that. All this space to work now. This is still entirely in the way though. Oh, one thing good about showing you guys is it's going to help me later. So we got a stubby 14 on the left, or to the aft. Stubby 14 over here. Big 17 in the center that really doesn't like to come. It's acting like it's rusted in or like it's still holding up the engine, even though I know that's not the case. And even if I'm a little bit wrong about how much support I have underneath, I'm not worried about it because this engine only has one engine mount. The They call most of them engine mounts, but really most of them are transmission mounts, 3 out of 4. And these little guys are 12s, and I've been switching back from breaking free to knocking out with my trusty Infinium hammer and screwdriver that I reviewed. Man, I love this thing. I originally just always used the ratchet, but now I use the ratchet when this doesn't fit because this is quick. And it doesn't get damaged if it enters resistance because it's actually a little bit of an impact driver. It goes pow, pow, pow. Just really fast, like 2,200 blows per minute. 2,400 blows per minute, it says on the side. Okay. Like Steve Robb would say, oh, wow. I hit it with my impact to make things easier. And I'm not sure of the purpose of this thing. It just kind of floats on top there. I'm glad I recorded it before I took it off because I suspect that the new one doesn't come with this. But this is technically free, but there's still weight on it. So I'm going to jack it up a little bit more from below and see if it gives me a little more space to get to some of these bottom nuts. Oh wow. This bracket here, now that I've got this out of the way, I can see it's got nuts that I'll need a deep socket on. Maybe a deep 14 times 2. Yeah, I should be able to get to both of those from the side there. But it'd still be easier if I take out this AC reclamator that's got to come off anyway. Wow. Holy cow. Wow. This bolt that holds the motor mount to the alternator, the metal was, that's not plastic. That's metal that's been sheared off. So that was just holding itself together with gravity. So, yeah, I don't think this motor mount was doing me anything anymore. Wow. I can't believe that. That's nuts. I probably can just leave this motor mount on there. Connect to the engine. The big thing is to just get it out of the way and make these belts easier and get these bolts off. Oh, that doesn't make any sense. The whole thing's coming off. It's got to be pulled away if I'm going to get to this nut and everything else. Trusty 30 Torx on a 1/4 inch with this Harbor Freight Professional line series. I decided to go with that because it's got the metal where it's going to get beat on and shoot up instead of the plastic like my other one. And you know, it's more for use at home, like I said, because just a couple of weeks accidentally leaving it at the shop in my hands, no one else's, and looks all chewy like that. Still works fine. I think its internals are metal, but it's got a plastic outside that makes it lighter. It still has some heft to it. Real cheap. Works real good. The teeth feel really fine. This guy doesn't want to move. I think I need to leave out the engine a little bit more because it sagged a bit as I pulled the alternator bracket or the engine mount, which is normally an engine mount, but now it's also an alternator bracket. Actually, I take that back. Over here is the engine mount. This is an engine mount bracket, also is the alternator bracket. Pull this top bolt first and get this out of the way, because when you're actually it's a 10 down there, when you're doing a 10mm down there, this slides up out of the way to give you even more space to remove it. It's pretty nice. By the way, when you have engine troubles, even if it sounds like you think you know what happened, go ahead and just look around on the outside, because trying to catch it is difficult. But do you see that little hole down there? Yeah. Cylinder number 2 broke through. That piston came free, so the bottom end is destroyed. It's probably not even worth the core. Thankfully, I found people that are willing to give up their core fee to get a cell on a remanufactured bottom. We still need to pull this top off. I want to see if it's salvageable. Did that piston come up and smack the valves, or did it just break free and never make its way up again? Somehow or another in all of our playing with it, I can get this cylinder to go up, but as the engine continues to spin, it doesn't go back down. So if it broke free down, and didn't come flying up, then the valves could still be in good condition here. The spark plug was certainly in great shape. None of the spark plugs showed damage of getting smashed. This is a slightly hemispherical engine. Yeah, by the way, I think it's 1 and 3 that are supposed to be up at the same time, so that is definitely stuck up. But this is just so beautiful back here. I had to show you this. I avoided doing this while this thing was out in warranty. I literally jumped up and down when it came back. E7 and an easy time with my Matco 1/4 inch. Of course, I broke them all free by hand first, because these are meant to be quick tools. They are not meant to be tough. And get all those studs put in a separate magnet holder. And I've been using something today that I rather like. I picked it up from AutoZone out of desperation because I couldn't get to this thermostat on a 2.7 Chrysler. Yeah, they put those things on the opposite end of what you would think on the coolant system. So that Chrysler engine's got a backward coolant system. But I need a lot of 1/4 inch work to get in there. And this extension just wiggles its way into all kinds of places. AutoZone also includes a 3/8 spiral extension. Works real nice. And this last stud's a doozy, because apparently the exhaust is resting on it. There, picked up the exhaust a little, and I'm free. So, yeah, it's free. On the other side of things, that one came out with the use of the wobbly as well. I know the motor mount hasn't moved yet. I'll get to it. I got more side pieces to go that I'm having a hard time getting the angle on because this AC is still in the way. Typically when you swap an engine you don't do the AC. Oh hey, you leave it all together and then you don't lose the use of the AC. But in my case, since it's broken and it needs to replace things anyway, it might be easier if I remove it. This guy right here, I think I'm going to pull the stud. I think that'll make it easier to free the last of that up. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.